Hey everybody, it's Dana and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a tutorial using the new My Monthly Hero for Hero Arts, and this is the kit for the month. This is July 2021, and as you can see, it's chocked full of magical forest stuff. So let's go ahead and make a clean and simple card with this. I have grabbed in my Misty, and I'm going to grab in a piece of white cardstock, and this is the Dove White from Hero Arts. And I'm also going to grab in a Mist cardstock, and this is also from Hero Arts. I want to lay these on top of each other because I want to make a circle right in the middle. So I'm going to first grab the image I'm using, and this is this adorable little gnome chilling out between two cute little flowers. And I'm going to use my infinity dies. Now I want the focal point of this card to be focused on that gnome. So I want to find the right size circle that's going to fit around him, however, not leave a lot of opening around him. So I'm trying this first one, and I think that's a tad bit too big. So now I'm going to go right back to those infinity dies, and that's what's so beautiful about these circles. They come in so many sizes. Now I'm going to try another one, and that one's perfect. I want it to be a little bit of an opening, but not too much. So once I get my circle lined up over my image, I can go ahead and grab myself some tape, and I'm going to go ahead and tape the circle down to the center of the card. Now I could have just tried to wing this, but I really wanted to be a little bit accurate on this. So now since I know where my circle is, I can go ahead and die cut this out. But first I want to kind of move my tape to the inside of the circle. So if my tape tears my paper, it's going to be on the inside portion of the circle and not on my card base. Now since I have that all trimmed out, I can place that back right into the corner. And now I know where my image is going to be. Now there's a little bit of overhang on the top, and that's okay because I'm going to trim that down later. I will place my image right in the middle of the circle. Pardon my head. I have moved my camera, so I'm not aware that my head is in the way until I do videos. So just excuse the hat. Now I can go ahead and pick that up, and I know that my gnome is going to be on the center of that white piece of paper. Now I can go ahead and get this inked up. Now, like I was saying, the stamp set is so adorable for your summer cards. If you like gnomes, if you like a little bit of whimsy, you're totally going to love this stamp set. So I went ahead and stamped that in black ink. This is the Intense Black ink from Hero Arts. I do want this image to be rather dark because I am going to be coloring it with Copic markers, and I just want to make sure that I have a good solid line before I go back to start my coloring. Now I could bring this back in and restamp it after the coloring, but in this case I kind of just want to make sure it's pre-done before I start coloring. Now I will say, if you are stamping this multiple times, you do want to give it a little bit of a breather before you go right in with your Copic markers, because you do not want your ink to smear. So now since I have that crisp dark line, I'm going to go ahead and pull this out, let it hang out for a couple minutes, and then we're going to get to the coloring. Now I went ahead and I zoomed in, and I'm just doing some really quick Copic coloring. Because this image is so small, I don't really have to use a lot of colors. So for all of the coloring today, I only used 2 of each color. I kept it really, really simple and easy. Now you can totally do this if you wanted to with watercolors, which I think would be absolutely stunning. You can also use your color pencils. For me, my go-to color medium for quick cards like this is definitely going to be my Copic markers. So as you can see here, I'm adding a 1 layer down of solid color, and then I'm coming back in and adding in a darker color. Again, this is a very tiny image, so I don't need to go overboard on this. However, even though the image is small, I do want to have some contrast to it. And you can really see how adorable this image becomes. Now, I do have all of the colors listed over on my blog. So if you want to check out the colors I used for this, you can go ahead over to my blog. I'll have the link in the description box below. All right, now since that's done, I'm just going to use a white gel pen and clean up some of the areas I went out. And now I brought in my panel piece. I want to ground my little gnome. So excuse my head, but I'm drawing in a little bit of a pencil line. And this is when I can go in and add some grass. Now, I don't have to be neat with this because this is going to be covered up with my blue panel piece. I do take a darker green and just do like little flicks as if this was blades of grass. Super, super easy. And I make sure to keep bringing in that panel just to see how low I need to go. So now we have grass. Now I'm going to come in and I want to draw a sky. So again, I used my pencil. I'm grabbing a couple of colors of blue. Again, everything will be linked over on my blog as far as the colors, but I'll link the products below. And then I can fill in my sky. Super easy coloring to make sure I have a complete scene and my little gnome is not just floating. All right, so now since the coloring is done and everything's lined up, now I can start bringing in the last piece, which that is going to be my sentiment. So I'm going to line that up and I'm going to use the black ink that I used before. And I'm just going to tilt my Misty up to make sure I'm getting my sentiment straight on this piece. Now, this would be a super easy card to mass produce. So you know I'm all into, if I'm going to make one card, I need to make a couple of them, at least two, if I'm going to have the product out. So this is a great way to get in a little bit of coloring on a lazy afternoon and then also make simple and beautiful cards. So I have two sentiments from the stamp set, and I love that they're different fonts because I love me a good font on a pretty card. And now since I have that done, the card is basically finished. I don't want to really add a lot more to this card, but I do want to trim down this panel. So I'm going to use my Hero Arts precision glue. I like to use a liquid glue, especially if I'm putting something over something else, because it gives me a little bit of wiggle room. So now I can place that on top, and look how cute this card is, you guys. It's so precious. I mean, I want to be chilling like that in my backyard. I mean, I would probably need a bigger hammock, but I think I would still be cute. So now I'm going to go ahead and trim this down. I like to trim panels like this on all of the corners. So I trim like 1/8 of an inch off on one side, and then I go all the way around the card panel, because that kind of ensures me that I'm going to be even when I get this trimmed down to be a little bit smaller than a card base. Now I have a top folding Dove White card base, and this is also from Hero Arts. And then I can go ahead and use my precision glue again. A reason precision glue is awesome because it allows me that wiggle room compared to if I was doing this with just normal adhesive. Once it was down, it will be down, and I just want to make sure I have a little bit of wiggle room with this. So now I can place that down, and I have that nice crisp white border on the outside of my card, and then I can kind of tilt it up and move it around. Now, since that's done, remember, I said I want this to be clean and simple, not a lot of fuss on this card, but I do feel like I want a border around this. Again, you can stamp on this paper before you put it on top of your panel, or you can do like me and just add a little bit of faux stitching. Faux stitching seems to be like my go-to when I just want a little something something on a card, but I don't want to add sequins, or I don't want to add, enamel dots. I just kind of want a clean, simple card. It's perfect to do the faux stitching. I just have a number 10 white Jelly Roll pen, and I'm going to make sure I go around every single corner of this card panel, so I have this stitching all the way around. And there we have it, you guys. We have a completed card. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. Make sure to click the links below if you would like to purchase these products. And also here is all my social media for you to check out. I will see you guys in another video soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.